Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Manifest. It is 2 days before, 3 days? 3 days before Christmas. I don't even know when Christmas is. God, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, welcome. I hope you guys have had a good week, and I hope you have a great Christmas or not, depending on, I hope you have a good day. Not that you don't have a good day. If you don't celebrate Christmas, that's fine too. I mean, I'm not a religious person. I just kind of do it for the friend stuff and calling my mom and my sister and brother and like just overall checking on everybody. And you see, I have the tree. It looks nice. It will come down very quickly after Christmas, so that way I have that space for other things. But maybe that could be my VR space. That might be a good VR space. I didn't even think about that. That would work out really well. Wow. Sometimes you just think of the weirdest things when you're in front of a camera. Anyway, so, as you know, on the Monday Manifest, we talk about games. And obviously, you know, I've been talking about things like Mario and Luigi Brothership and, the Callisto Protocol isn't super new, but it's newer than most stuff I play and other stuff. So, obviously, today I'm following that trend to talk about Gears of War 2, a very recent title, as everybody knows, that I'm sure most people haven't played. I was probably one of the first ones to play it. It's fine. Don't be jealous. All jokes aside, though, I had played the first Gears game, and I just played the first Gears game with Zunder because they have the remastered version, and that was a lot of fun. It was exactly as I remember it. You know, you're a big stompy man, and you shoot things, and you do swears quite a bit. It's just very good. And then I played Gears 2 on my own because Gears 2 and Gears 3 are only on Xbox 360 and they're on the system, but you can't, like, they're on Game Pass, but only on the system. And on Game Pass Ultimate, you can technically play the game through cloud gaming, and it's probably not bad, but I also don't trust it very much. So I was like, you know what? I feel like just playing this on my own because I played Gears 4 and Gears 5, as you guys know from the previous video, and I have feelings about those. I don't like them as much as I liked, because before we played that, we played the first Gears but remastered, and I really enjoyed it. There was just something about it. It definitely had that 2000s feel of like just gritty, shooty, and the active reload was like a mechanic that other games hadn't done. Very focused on co-op and cover and stuff. The only thing I don't like, and that Zunder didn't like, is that when you do the roadie run, the screen shakes a whole lot. Not a huge fan of screen shake, but you know, I get that it kind of, I mean, it's necessary as well to be like, yes, you're leaning down and doing the run, and you're it's very intense. Anyway, Gears of War 2, very, very good game. Like, honestly, I talked about Gears 4 and Gears 5, and they felt more like, I believe they were made by a different studio than the original 3 Gears games. So they felt more like an homage than a true sequel, if that makes sense. And they felt too, like, clean. Maybe part of it is because, like, of the updated graphics and all that. But I don't know. There's just something about the first 3 Gears, just like the real grittiness and how stompy everybody is. And I mean, Cole, every time Coltrane shows up, I like have to cheer because he's the best character. And so playing through 2, you know, you meet up with everybody again, and there's a lot going on. And one of the big issues I had with at least Gears 5, because it wasn't in Gears 4. Gears 4, I didn't really like the tower defense areas because they felt like they weren't really fleshed out very well. And then Gears 5, I didn't like that chapter, or Act 2 and 3 were in the open world section, and it was just not fun. Like, it was kind of cool to explore for a little bit, and then it was like, okay, guys, I don't got time for this. And there's just something I like a lot about the campaign in Gears 1 and 2. I haven't played 3 yet, but I'll definitely do a Monday Manifest on 3 later. Where it's very, like, you explore all these areas, but you're going down a path, and then once you finish and you start up the next thing, you're, like, basically dropped off immediately where you left off, unless you got to like a helicopter, which then drops you off in a different area to continue on. But like it all linked together and it just worked. It was fine. It didn't need to be open world. You were just doing mission to mission, fighting lots and lots of locusts. And oh boy, at the end of Gears 2, there were a lot of locusts. I actually had some trouble with it, partially because I suck at aiming. If I was a lot better with the sniper rifle, then it probably would have been okay. But I made it through the game in normal mode and only died a few. I guess the only like major problem I had with it is that near the end, for whatever reason, the AI for Dom sometimes just wouldn't get you up, or he'd be like on the other side of the map and you'd go down and you're just like, help, I need somebody to get me up, and he's just off doing whatever. And obviously checkpoints are, well, I mean, they're not in bad places, but usually in a big fight, the checkpoint is at the start of the fight. So sometimes you get almost to the end, get downed, and then you're like, Dom, please get me up. And then you have to do it all over again. But very good. And there was a point in the game where I almost cried, which is a really, when you think of a Gears game, you're like, there's no way that a Gears game would be emotionally compelling like that. Granted, I've played Gears 5 and a major character gets killed off, but at the same time, I didn't give enough of a shit about the character for it to be more than like, oh, so they're doing this. Okay. But, in Gears 2, there's just like a moment that's just very like, oh, ooh, this hurts. This hurts to see. It's very well done. And I don't know. There's just something about, like I said, big, stompy, angry men, but also they still, they're still human, even if they have to kind of shove parts of that away so they can just kill lots of things indiscriminately and just do their job. But yeah, Gears 2, very good. It was great. Like, honestly, I'm kind of mad that I didn't play it earlier, but I'm glad I did now because I have a little bit more insight. Like, part of the problem I had with Gears 4 and 5 is that a lot of the story didn't make sense because I had only played the first Gears game, and I'm like, where are they getting all this extra whatever from? It's like, is this like their own fan made whatever, or I don't know. But yeah, so oh man, it was very good. Like I really like the different areas it took you to, and Rip Carmine, you will be missed. There was just a lot of, oh man, that game was good. It was very good. I had a really good time with it. And the funny thing is, I think it took me longer to get through Gears 2 than it did for us to get through like Gears 5. And most of Gears 5 was just the open world segment. Like if that had just been linear, that game would have been even shorter. But because like the final act of Gears 5 was like an hour. The whole thing was an hour. And I was just like, oh, damn. So we went through all that, and I don't know. Anyway, enough shitting on Gears 4 and 5. Like they're good games in their own right. They just they didn't feel like Gearsy enough, or they changed the formula. And I don't know. Like it had all the weapons, and you had monsters and some new ones and all that, but it just, like I said, it felt more like an homage than a true sequel to me, at least. Yeah, Gears 2 was great. Holy crap. It's only been 8 minutes. It feels like I've been talking about this for so long. Here, I'll say one more thing. Probably one of my favorite things about Gears 2 is that there's a point, and I'll put a screenshot in it so you guys can see it. There's a point where they introduce a mechanic, and it's really cool how they introduce it because it's just a part of the world. So basically, you're underground because, of course, you're underground. That's where the locusts are, and we want to get rid of them. You're underground, and you run into like these weird glowing fruits, and I was even like, "What the hell are these?" Because you could shoot them, and they fall on the ground. And you're like, "Okay, well, weird. Maybe this will be useful." Turns out those fruits are the favorite food of a rockworm. Where when you go and talk to like Central Command, or whatever they call it, I already forgot. They're like, oh yeah, that's a rockworm. It's bulletproof. It's basically impervious to everything, but it's also like totally docile. Like it doesn't give a shit about you. And it turns out that rockworm is a living, moving cover. And I thought that was such a neat idea to just kind of inject into the world, and it's not put in a way that feels like obtuse or off. It's like it's just down there minding its own business, and it just happens to be a big bulletproof long boy that you can kind of maneuver around by dropping these fruits off the ceiling to make portable cover while you're fighting these locusts. And I mean, the things don't care about being shot or being shot at, so they're just eating while you're sitting behind them and picking off enemies. And I thought that was really cool.
We've also been told that the worms are nearly indestructible. Apparently gunfire doesn't affect them at all.
She's right. That thing's not even paying attention to you.
Like, honestly, that I feel like not enough games do stuff like that. Like, mechanics will get tossed into the world that just don't feel right, or they get it feels so inorganic the way they're shoved in, you know, where it's just like, oh, this is just a tutorial, instead of it being like, oh, well, this is a thing, and also you can use it as this if you want. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so that's my thoughts on the brand new game Gears 2. Oh man, I can't believe it. You know what? Honestly, like, playing Gears 2, it's an older game. It still looks really good. You know, it controlled well. Like, the Gears games are just very well made. So I'm excited to get to Gears 3. I already know about the major spoiler of Gears 3, which I won't spoil for everybody else, but I'm sure it'll still hit just as hard once I get to it. So yeah, thank you once again for being here and hanging out on today's Monday Manifest. I might just talk about Gears of War 3 next time if I end up playing through and beating it, because it only took me two sessions to get through Gears of War 2. They were fairly long sessions, but yeah, I might be able to play it throughout the week after work this coming week, and then have another recording being like, here's what I thought. But yeah, Gears of War 2 was really good. I don't think I did a Monday Manifest about Gears of War 1, but Gears of War 1 was also great. Fuck the krill, the things that eat you if there's no light. They took those out of Gears 2, and I was like, thank you. I mean, there's other stuff that happens in Gears 2, but it's nothing nearly as like insta-deathy as, hey, if you don't shoot all these propane tanks, you're gonna get ate. Which makes me wonder if they brought them back in 3, but I guess I'll see when it happens. So yeah. Once again, thank you for being here and hanging out on today's Monday Manifest. I will see you guys next time, and enjoy Christmas, or don't, depending on how you feel about it. Enjoy the rest of your December, because, oh man, the next time, well, it won't be next year. Okay. It'll be the end of the year, and then it'll be next year on the next Monday Manifest. You know, 2025. Oh, I'm not ready.